The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available on Amazon.
The Mike Wagner Show, also brought to you by Illuminatical, the think tank of the future. The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, available on Amazon, highlighting the Book of David, and Heidi Tam Music, with her latest on HeidiTamMusic.com.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia Missing. Also brought to you by Illuminatical, the think tank of the future, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, available on Amazon, and Heidi Tam Music with the smash single Baby Come Back. Check out our latest at HeidiTamMusic.com. We're here with a terrific lady who's born and raised in Austin, Texas, now living in Tampa. Interior design of beautiful homes and offices of 15 years. Graduated from Notre Dame with a Bachelor of Arts degree. Began her spiritual journey at 16. Have her first visitation from someone who passed on and said goodbye. We'll talk more about that. And she was adopted at 5 weeks old, raised in a Mexican-American family in Laredo, and also had a fengshiu experience. Brought insight into a new world with infinite possibilities. And how does this tie into a new book? It's basically a highly readable, engaging, entertaining book. Keeps you wondering what is next. True purpose and the flow and everything like that. How does it all come together to make things better? Why things are. And the book is called I Can't Just Make This Sheet Up. or if you're living in the Middle East, you call it Shiite as well, too. Live, ladies and gentlemen, plus twos in beautiful downtown Tampa, Florida. The amazing interior design, beautiful homes and offices, 15 years, and also the author of the book, I Just Can't Make This Sheet Up. Ladies and gentlemen, multi-talented Alejandra Brady. Alejandra, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate that.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well. I mean, I can't make this up either. I got to tell you that. So looking at that, I got to look at myself too. So you're an interior designer of beautiful homes. You did it for 15 years in wonderful offices. You graduated from Notre Dame. You began your spiritual journey at 16, having your first visitation from someone who passed on, said goodbye. And basically, you uncover your life, the extraordinary spiritual that lay at the core, and began journey of Feng Shui, which is basically your Feng Shui. You're born in Austin, Texas, adopted at 5 years old, and raised in a Mexican-American family in Laredo. And of course, this basically brought a whole new world with infinite possibilities. And your new book is basically highly readable, engaging, entertaining, and keeps you wondering, what the heck is next? You just can't make this sheet up. And before I get into all that, Alejandra, tell us how you first got started.
How I first got started in interior design or with my spiritual journey?
Yeah, let's get into interior design. Just go way back before you experience.
Way back. So I've always been a designer at my heart. You know, I was redoing my Barbie townhouses and dream homes, when I was a little girl. So I've always been doing that. But I've been doing it at this point over 20 years now. Wow. So I did interior design for 15 years when I discovered feng shui. And then I decided to get certified in feng shui and added that to my interior design. And now I'm also certified in biophilic design. So I kind of combine all those different modalities for the work that I do with clients. And the book was kind of its own thing. The book became a record of, I guess, my spiritual journey that really started for me at 50. I did have my first experience at 16, like you said. But it wasn't until I started writing the book that I kind of connected all the dots and saw that all of this had been happening to me for decades. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't even know that it was happening. So that's kind of where it all comes together. And once I aligned my house using feng shui principles was when kind of all the doors started opening to me spiritually. And that's when I got the downloads to write the book and move forward and go from there.
And certainly amazing as well. What was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
It was when I decided to add feng shui to my toolbox. I had a very unexpected surgery at 50. I know we're talking a little bit off air about my husband's surgery, but I have a plate that holds my neck up. So I have cervical fusion that came about very unexpectedly when I turned the month after I turned 50. And I was working on a client's home who was very energetically aligned, much more so than I was at that point, at least that I consciously was aware of, right? And she was having a feng shui master come to her house, and she asked me if I wanted her to come to my house too. I didn't know anything about feng shui at the time, but it was going to be right before the surgery. And she said she might help you give some pointers for your recovery, because my recovery was going to be pretty severe. I was going to be stuck in my house, unable to drive or do much else, because after the surgery, you're in a neck brace for 6 to 8 weeks where you can't do anything except look straight. So, no cooking or working or driving or, nothing else. I mean, sit around and watch TV. And I said yes. And so this feng shui master came to my house, and within 10 minutes of starting to tell me what to do at my house, she said, you're going to be doing this. And I remember clearly I was so focused and so tunnel vision to my surgery that I just remember saying, TikTok lady, just tell me what I need to do to get my house ready. I have no interest in doing this whatsoever. I just want to get my house ready for my surgery. So she told me what to do. She left. I did it. My recovery was seamless. The energy started shifting so much in our home as I recovered. And then as I recovered, I branched out from our bedroom to do the other rooms in our house little by little as I was feeling stronger. By the time I did my whole house, my husband just looked at me and he said, you do need to do this. You do need to add this to what you do and design. And I'm like, she was right. I do. So that kind of changed everything. I reached back out to her. I asked her if she had a program or if she knew where I could go get certified, because I didn't want to just read a book and start pretending to mess with people's energy. Like, I wanted to get a real certification. So she had a certification course, and I studied under her for over a year full time until I got certified, and then kind of started doing my business that way instead, which was really, really a beautiful way to incorporate it. And it is so meaningful to me because now I really feel like I'm living my life's purpose. I can make a room look beautiful. Any of us who've done what we've done for, decades should be pretty good at what we're doing, right? No matter what you're doing.
Right.
But,
and I was thinking, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But being able to like shift the energy as well as make it beautiful is just so much more fulfilling to me.
That's really interesting too. You were doing it without feng shui when you're in interior design.
Yes.
It's like, what was it like without the feng shui?
I mean, the rooms were beautiful. Everything was still very pretty and clients were happy with the results. Feng shui intuitively also incorporates a lot of common sense. So if you are doing good design for the most part, you're already incorporating things. But there are a lot of things that you can add to it when you bring feng shui into it to just kind of, give it that extra caffeine jolt, and just kind of really help your house align. And when your house is aligned, then it opens up doors of opportunities to you. A lot of times people think like, oh, okay, I did what you said. I put an orchid in this corner, and now obviously X, Y, and Z is going to happen. It's like, that's not the way it works. What you're doing is you're creating opportunities by energetically aligning your home. And then we're also doing it with the design as well.
So you're basically taking common sense to a whole new level then.
Hopefully, it's an ancient practice. It's been around for 4,000 to 6,000 years, but it's found its way to the Western world. It started in China, and it's found its way to the Western world, and specifically the United States, like in the early 80s is when it started. And it started in California, and it's much more mainstream now. But even now, a lot of people don't know what it is. So it's really fun also to educate people and teach them the wisdom that's been around for thousands and thousands of years.
And I was thinking about it. You did the thing with, designing rooms with feng shui and everything. Maybe give an example as well. When you use feng shui, it's like, you normally take a room without it, but then you take the same room with feng shui. It was like a good example of what you've done.
So a great example would be, let's just take somebody's office. Since we can see each other, you can see that I have a solid wall behind me. So do you, which is great. And we are facing out, right? Yep. So I can see the door and I can see anybody that's coming towards me, but I have a solid wall that's protecting me so nobody can sneak up behind me, right? So a lot of it goes back to us subconscious. And if you feel like somebody can sneak up on you at any point in time, think of our situation, the way we are placed right now versus somebody who works in a cubicle and their back is exposed. So anybody that can walk in can surprise them, right? Or catch them off guard.
Like that.
Right. Or just it's your subconscious that's feeling exposed. And when your subconscious is feeling exposed, your body is naturally tense and is more focused on protection because it's a natural instinct to not want to have your back exposed, you know, to open world. And you can't focus on what you're doing. So when you can set up an office, whether it's at home or at work or wherever it is that you're working, if you can set up an office to where your desk is in command, which is what you and I have right now, and hopefully you can see the door from wherever you are too.
Yeah, I can see it perfect, although I can't, turn my laptop and everything like that. It's like what goes in here stays in here. And I tried turning a laptop and nearly messed mine up. I tried turn this, turn that, next thing it's like, okay, where I'm at. So yeah, I'm looking at the door, I'm looking at stairs, I'm looking at some of my books and stereo, and I can also reach for my coffee as well too without having interfere. So
perfect. Yes. So we are what we call in feng shui in command position. So I look at this command position for the office area, but mainly actually for the bedrooms. Because when you go into your bed at night, you want to be able to rest, right? Your bedroom should be about relaxation, resting, time with your significant other if you have one, right? And sleeping, and that should be it. So I also look at putting beds in command, and you want the same setup. You want a solid wall, hopefully behind you, a headboard to protect you, and your body subconsciously will relax more and rest more, and you will get a better night's sleep. Because a lot of people come to me for sleep issues, the three main things. I mean, every once in a while, somebody will come to me and everything's going great in their life and they just want to, zhuzh it up. And I'm like, great. But people usually come because there's an issue. So the issues will be money, wealth, health, or relationships. And your bedroom kind of attributes to all of those because we spend a third of our life in it. So I very, very much look at the bedroom and see what's going on in there and put your bed in command. If you work from home and I'm able to see your workspace, I'll put your desk in command and, align your office. So it's things like that, right? So there may have been nothing wrong aesthetically with the rooms beforehand, but we can work with the stuff that you already have to help energetically align it a little bit better.
Okay. And what about the living room and also the kitchen as well too, or maybe go a step further, like the garage?
Oh, we can be here all night. I mean, yes. every room depends on every other room, and everything in your house depends on each other. The living room, you always want to make sure that is, clutter-free and cleaned up, and it feels energetically cohesive, that there's enough seating for all the members of the family. Same with the kitchen table, wherever people dine, like you want to make sure that there's enough seating so all the family members feel included in the family. A quick tip I just did this on another podcast, and I've had like 3 people DM me who I guess have listened to the podcast. They're like, I'm cleaning my stove today. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, they must have listened to that podcast because this is the strangest DM.
Cleaning the stove. It's like we have a flat top doesn't need really cleaning.
Well, your oven and your stove, no matter where they're positioned in your home, are prosperity magnets for your home. And so you always want to make sure that they are in pristine order. You want to make sure that you're alternating the burners. Most people have a favorite burner or 2 favorite burners, and the rest never get turned on. So you want to make sure that you're rotating all the burners and you're using all the burners. Make sure they're all working. You don't want, if you have gas, you don't want pilot lights not working in some of them and others. Your oven's clean because they are prosperity magnets for your entire home. So yeah, that was just a funny one to receive those comments, a couple of days later. I'm like, why is this person sending me this? And it took me a second to put it together. I'm like, oh, they listened to that podcast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have to put some kitchen tips, for my wife and everything. And, and of course, I'm sure messy garages are probably included, but that's probably another
Same
factor
thing.
too.
Well, so garages represent opportunities. And so if you have a very cluttered garage, if your car doesn't fit in it, if it's dirty and just, you don't know what's in there anymore, you could be blocking opportunities that are coming your way.
Oh my gosh, that's really interesting. So, men, get out there and just clean the garage. Women, don't worry too much about the stove and everything like that. You don't just leave it to feng shui and everything like that. This is all part of the book by Alejandra Brady. I just can't make this sheet up. But first, you listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even level endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes, Riley, and Minos. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Coming up, Missing 2 by Mia Molson-Zia, double the fun, double the excitement. Check it out, coming up on Amazon as well. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illumnifical, the think tank of the future, a human think tank that brings scientists and engineers together from all over the world, creating a method to construct a renewable generator, which this product operates on a closed-loop system and generates more energy internally that needs to function. This extra electricity can be used to run everything from homes, power grids, phones, laptops. This power source is renewable, highly scalable, and more importantly, self-regenerating. For more information, visit facebook.com/Illumnifical. That's ELLUMENIPTICAL today. Also, Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, including 30 exquisite paintings in King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote and his time as a shepherd, where it started, and complicated yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. Is a story of love, betrayal, repentance, and more. Check it out, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also brought to you by Hayitan Music, featuring smash hit Baby Comeback. New music coming soon. Check it out at HayitanMusic.com. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. 40 podcast platforms, heard on countries. Take us with you on any mobile device for great gift ideas for your loved ones. Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Email me if you want more information, or to order one of them at the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com. And also check out the Mia Molson-Zia store on Amazon. Great books, merchandise, and more. Amazon.com, Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today and support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the Mike Wagner Show as well. We're here with the amazing interior designer, beautiful homes and offices, 15 years, and also the author of the book, I Just Can't Make This Sheet Up, here on the Mike Wagner Show. It's a book about highly readable, engaging, and entertaining book. Keeps you wondering what is next. And tell us more about the book and how'd you get started on that one?
Sure. So once I feng shuied my house, I decided to start learning meditation. And during a meditation, I was told that I would be writing a book. I was actually asking what my purpose was. I was at a crossroads. I was recovering from the surgery. Our son had just graduated and was now living in Chicago and living his best life, after college. And so we were truly empty nesters, and my business was on hold because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was recovering, doing feng shui, all that stuff. And I just asked one day during meditation what my purpose was and what I really was supposed to be doing at this point in my life. And I got told I was going to write a book. And just like I told the feng shui consultant that came to my house, I said, no, I have no interest in that. No, thank you. I want none of that. No interest in writing one, no interest in promoting one, just no, flat out. I went back to meditation the next day and the next day and the next day, and 5 days in a row, I kept getting the same answer. And I'm like, fine. So if I'm supposed to write a book, what am I supposed to write a book about? And I am highly clairaudient, and I'm not sure if you know what that means, but I hear messages. Some people are clairvoyant, which I am as well. I see people who've passed, but I also hear a lot of messages. So this is how, when I say I was being told, this is what I mean. Like, there isn't a person walking into the room telling me that. I'm being told. by my guides. So I just started writing down what was started happening to me. And some days it was like, this is bull, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? And other days things would start happening. And so I'd start writing down my experiences. And the more I wrote them down, the more stuff happened. One of the things that happened is I was told to go to Sedona, Arizona, and I didn't even know what that was. And 10 days after I was told, I owned a home there.
Nice.
And then, yes. And then we ended up moving there during the pandemic. And that is where I wrote the majority of the book and edited the majority of the book. And I kid you not, as soon as I was done with the final edits and it was going to print, I got told to sell the house.
Really?
And so my poor husband is looking at me like, oh my God, now what?
And you had the house for 2 years, was it? 3, 4
We
years?
had the house for 3 in total. We bought it in 2018 because I asked him to, and he did. And it was always meant to be a second home. And then because the pandemic hit and we couldn't do much, we had already planned to put the house that we were in Tampa for sale in early 2020. And it sold quickly. And we just thought we could get another house in an area of South Tampa in an area of Tampa, which is South Tampa, which we'd been wanting to move to. And that was just a joke. That was when everything was going like, in an hour, we'd call the realtor and say, we're ready to go. We'll drive down there right now. The listing just went up and it'd be sold, in 15 minutes. So it just got ridiculous. So we ended up just moving full time to Sedona for 2 years, which was very unexpected for us, and just had a great adventure there. It's where the book was written. And yeah, as soon as I was done, I got told, sell it. And I was like, well, no, why don't we just keep it? And we'll have it, the original plan of having the 2 houses. And I got told no, to sell it. So it sold in 48 hours.
Wow.
For double what we paid for it, all cash above asking. And we had 10 days to get out. So 10 days to get in, 10 days to get out.
How do you like that? Now you've been told like so many, now the spirit parents told you over and over, do this, do that, or say, don't know that. What happens if you end up disobeying it after about several times? What happens?
You have free will. We all have free will. So if I'm not ready for something, I just will say not now, or I'm not ready. I do find in my particular case that if I'm fighting something, I usually end up sick. If I'm fighting something a lot, just for me, this isn't for everybody. For me, I got told to do a feng shui card deck. And again, I was like, no. And I ended up with shingles all over the left side of my face, my head, and my neck, which then prevented me from leaving the house for 3 weeks. And during that time, the entire download for my card deck came through. So I noticed that, and I think that's what the cervical fusion was too. I think that was to get me to stop. Because otherwise I would have never stopped. I'm a type A, I'm a Virgo, I'm all the things. My birthday's on Saturday. So I'm September 14th. I'm right in the middle of Virgo season. So I am just your little type A, go, 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 go. And I didn't know how to be still. And so I had to be forced to be still to hear. And then I had to then agree to take inspired action. But there are things that I get told sometimes that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. That feels too big, or that seems, I'm just not ready. And that's okay too. You can say that as well. You're not like an indentured servant or anything.
Right, exactly. You're not a robot. You're not AI
Absolutely
or anything
not.
like
No,
that. Yeah,
no,
exactly.
no. You have free will. But I do find that when I am listening to what I'm being guided to do, my life flows a lot easier than when I'm not.
That certainly is as well too. And going back to the time that you first heard, voices at 16, visitation from someone, and maybe, going into that, it's like, how'd you first encounter that? What was that first moment for you?
So again, I was 16, and it's actually a really sad story. Unfortunately, my boyfriend at the time died overnight. Wow. So that people understand, because now, of course, we are just in communication with the world 24/7. I was 16 in 1984. So for those of us that are near that age, right? I mean, there were no cell phones, there were no computers, certainly not anyone's rooms, certainly not kids' rooms. We were not allowed to have a TV in our room, and we were not allowed to have a phone in our room.
Mhm.
So there was no way for me to have gotten this information other than the experience that I had. So it was a Sunday night. I was supposed to go on a 3-hour road trip to go pick up my boyfriend's older brother's stuff from college. It was in May. It was at the end of May, when everybody was getting out of school, and so they were bringing back their stuff from school and all that. So it was my boyfriend, his older brother, and his older brother's girlfriend, and I was supposed to go. My parents, for whatever reason, I'm sure they were guided as well, didn't let me go at the last minute. So
Wow.
typical 16-year-old, pitched a fit, screamed, yelled, cried, ran up to my room, closed the door, went to bed. And in the middle of the night, he showed up in my room.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell you exactly what he was wearing. He looked like he would any other day. And he just said, goodbye. And I said goodbye. And I don't remember thinking much else of it. It was, just something that happened. So I woke up on Monday morning at about 6:30 in the morning, whatever time it was, that you get ready for school. And I walked into my parents' bedroom, and my mom was sitting on the edge of her side of the bed with, the receiver, the cord, still attached to the phone with the receiver. You could see that she was crying. Her eyes were all red. And she just looked at me as I walked into their bedroom, and I said, I don't want to go to school. And she looked at me and she goes, why? And Spanish is my first language. So this was all happening in Spanish. And I just said, because, and then I said his name. Died last night. And she just gave me the strangest look. And I said, he died last night, didn't he? And she goes, yes, mijita, he died last
Oh,
night.
wow.
And I sat next to her on the bed. That's what she was being told on the phone.
Oh,
at that
my
moment.
gosh. And this was in Laredo, Texas. You
Yes.
were adopted at 5 weeks old, and you were growing up in a Mexican-American family. And,
Yes.
had an upbringing, things started and everything like that. So you had a pretty good, stable upbringing at that time.
Very, very, very. I had amazing adoptive parents. They've passed. But yes, I had great parents who raised my sister and I. And, the interesting part is, and I've thought about this and I've been asked about this, we never talked about that. Like my mom and I, to my recollection, to the best of my recollection, she didn't really ask me why or what happened or, oh, you saw him. Like it was never a conversation, which is why I didn't start piecing this together until I started writing the book and going back and remembering things that have happened, because I didn't know that not everybody didn't have, or how do I say this correctly? I'm about to give a double negative, which is incorrect, but I guess I kind of thought everybody could see dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just never a conversation that was any different. I was never, so I just assumed everybody could see it. So I didn't think anything else of it. And then when it kept happening and happened again, I just thought, okay, well, this is what happens when somebody that you love close to you dies. They show up in your bedroom and, sit there for 5 days like my mom did when she passed, or my dad. It never occurred to me that wasn't quote unquote normal.
Right. Yeah. And of course, you've been through experiences as well, too, like what
Right.
happened with the cervical at 50 and, first speaking to someone and when they pass at 16, of course, and some other things. And we'll get more into the book. I just can't make this sheet up with Alejandra Brady. We'll get that in a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia of Missing, also brought to you by Illumnifical, the think tank of the future, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David on Amazon, and Hayitan Music. Check our latest at hayitanmusic.com. We'll be back with the multi-talented Alejandra Brady of I Can't Make This Sheet Up after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, I'm Burl Bear, legendary American author, and I'm here to tell you about Missing, the new mystery suspense novel by Mia Molson-Zia. It's really a good book. Very surprising. Never metaphor I didn't like, especially in this book. Here you have a main character whose life life has been filled with despair. His wife died in 9/11. His young daughter died of a rare disease. He's not a happy camper. What does he do for a living? He's a physical fitness trainer. When somebody hardly knows, somebody he's never met, he only has encountered them on an internet chat line, goes missing, this is his journey. He's going to go rescue them. This is his search for redemption, his search for his own personal promised land. He couldn't do anything about the death of his wife, the death of his child, but maybe he could rescue this woman he's never met. That is, if she exists. Missing by me and Mosinzia, international in scope, vastly entertaining, full of surprises. I suggest you get it, neither paperback or an electronic edition for your Kindle. Missing by me and Mosinzia.
Baby, come back.
Heidi Tan has a new release, the remake of Player's Baby Come Back.
Spending all my nights, all my money going out of the town.
The special guest, international recording artist Nils on guitar. And now with her own twist on the classic comes Heidi Tan 2023.
Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see.
She delivers the punch you'd expect from a seasoned pro with this arrangement of Baby Come Back. Destined to be a chart topper, Heidi Tan, Baby Come Back.
The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illuminatical, the think tank of the future. Illuminatical, a human think tank that brings scientists and engineers together from all over the world, has created a method to construct a renewable generator with this in mind. This unique product operates on a closed-loop system that generates more energy internally than it needs to function. The extra electricity can be used to run everything from homes and power grids to phones and laptops. This power source is entirely renewable, highly scalable, and more importantly, self-regenerating. For more information, visit facebook.com/illuminatical. That's facebook.com/ELLUMENIPTICAL today. The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Serena Wagner's book, The Sweet Psalmist, now available on Amazon. This book includes 30 exquisite paintings by well-known and unknown painters and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective on his life in this book. Through the Psalms he wrote, his time as a shepherd in the field is where the book starts, and it goes on to describe his complicated and turbulent relationship with King Saul as well as other events. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, and more. It also offers advice on approaching God and living a life that pleases Him. Check out the book, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, now available on Amazon. Keywords, Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back to the multi-talented Alejandra Brady, interior design, beautiful homes, 15 years, and author of the book, I Just Can't Make This Shit Up, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And you have those couple instances, and also applying to people, basically readable book, and people wondering what is next and what else is next. There's a guide and a process to walk you through a book where experiencing true purpose, bliss, flow, and awe as well. And maybe a step-by-step, it's like, how do they really experience it through the book?
I'm sorry.
No, it's just like, they read a book and everything. It's just like, just kind of walk through. It's like, how can they do this?
Sure. Well, the main reason that I wrote this book is because I do feel that a lot of people are having spiritual awakenings at this time in our life and this time on earth. And this is the book I wish I would have had when I was first going through it, because I didn't really have many people to talk about it. I actually had one person that I could talk about all the stuff that was happening to me. And even, somebody as well-meaning as my husband of now 34 years, but back then it was about 27 years, give or take. We met at Notre Dame. So we've known each other since we were kids. So I'm like this one person from 18 to 50, and suddenly I'm having all these experiences and all this other stuff happening to me. And he doesn't even know what to make of it. And I know I came back from this one session, and it was all about using your voice, sharing your story. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And the first thing he said to me is, but you're not going to say this to anybody, right? They're going to think you're crazy. And I'm like, okay, so this is what we're dealing with, right? So even the most well-meaning people in your life will have a hard time if you're going through this kind of journey. And so I wrote the book to really share the way I was going through it. And people have said it's pretty raw and it's authentic. And that's what it needed to be. I didn't want to write it from a place where I am now, where I can talk about this on any given day and it's no big deal to me. I wrote it as it was happening, because that's how people will experience their own awakening. And I was also very truthful. You're going to lose people in your life. There's no way around that. But you'll also find new people who are more aligned with the way that you are at this point in time. And it's all part of our journey to find our true purpose and to do what we're really here to do and to be of service to others. You're of service with what you're doing. I'm doing my best to be of service with what I'm doing. And that's the whole point, right? To have our lives on this planet at this time have meaning and be of service to others.
And of course, you brought up about the professionals we're in and everything like that. And how do you know if you're in the right one? What are some of the signs or for subtle signs, signals, or anything like that you are having a true purpose? And what are some of the signals that, it's not a true purpose for you? Do something else.
I think if you truly ask, what is my purpose? And if you start getting nudges, like if something like Sedona, for a quick one, for example, for me, I heard the word Sedona in the middle of the night. Didn't know where Sedona was. Honestly, I did not know where Sedona was or what Sedona was. So I woke up in the morning and I told my husband, I don't know, I heard this word Sedona. He goes, what's that? I'm like, I don't know. We Googled it. We saw it was a place in Arizona. Fine. Within 24 hours, Mike, I kid you not, one person that I hadn't seen in like a decade, I'm walking down the street and I run into them. It's like a little outdoor shopping area. So we're just not randomly on the street. We're in a shopping area. Walks up to me. She's like, hi, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. Have you been to Sedona? You need to go to Sedona. I just went to Sedona and it's amazing. You have to go.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I'm like, whoa. And within 24 hours, that happened 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
So I would say that's one of the biggest things. When you keep hearing something over and over again.
Poke like that.
Yes. When you keep hearing whatever it is, for me, it was Sedona. It could be go to a basketball game. It could be whatever it is, or call somebody. When we get those nudges, call somebody, or you think of somebody and then suddenly they're calling you, or, all of those are signs that the universe is giving us. And I use these words very interchangeably. I use God, source, and universe as the same thing, because I do think that there is a higher power. And I just think we may all have different words for it, and that's fine. Everyone can do what works for them. But whatever you relate to, there is something else out there that's greater than us. And they do get very excited if you start paying attention to them. So for me, suddenly I started noticing birds too. I've never been a big bird person, but I started noticing birds, and then I started looking up the meaning of birds. And it was interesting. Whatever was going on in my life kind of related to whatever bird had shown itself to me. And in Sedona, it was ravens. I had a lot of ravens around us all the time.
Really? What's the deal with ravens? I was wondering about that. I think it's the Baltimore Football Club, but
yeah, I love ravens. They are magical, magical creatures. They are considered messengers between the heavens and the earth, because they can be in both, right? And a lot of birds they can be in both. But I had ravens protect us one day. I was out walking our 2 little dogs at the time, and these 2 birds were like in my face. And I was starting to get annoyed, and I'm like, what is going on? And they kept following us the whole walk. And finally, something made me just pick up a dog under each arm, because they're little. And as I turned the corner, there was about 100-pound coyote waiting for me right there. They were trying to warn me that coyote was there.
Got it.
So they really are. I mean, that's when you start noticing the world around you, right? I think that's a big part of this. Like, pay attention to what's going on around you, because I think we all just go, myself included, go through those motions over and over, and you are just oblivious to all the signs and everything happening around you. And when you start to pay attention, you just start to see all the different things that are out there trying to get your attention and to help.
Now you're talking about birds as well too. Does it have to be a bird, or is like a favorite bird or anything like that? So it's like, mine happens to be like, the cardinals, or say like with little chickadees. I mean, the blue jays are nice and pretty, but I find them pretty annoying. I gotta say that. So.
They're aggressive little tricksters. Blue jays are known to be aggressive tricksters. Cardinals are meant to represent people who have passed. A lot of people will tell you that. That's a big one. I don't know much about chickadees, but it's so easy. You know, if you start to notice, like if there's a bird that's coming to your window every day, or you just happen to notice something that seems very obvious, like, oh, that just got placed right in front of me. Look it up and see what the spiritual meaning is. Dragonflies are a big one for me too. One of my spirit guides told me at one point that they were going to show themselves to me as dragons. And I'm like, yeah, well, aside from my sitting down and watching Game of Thrones, where's that going to happen? Like, it's like, or House of the Dragon, which I love, but it's like, I don't really expect a lot of dragons to be showing themselves to me every day.
Oh my gosh.
I walk outside, or I'm sitting in my car at a stoplight, and more often than not, a dragonfly will just come right in front of me and then take off. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And it's just one. And that's fine, So that's all I'm saying is the signs are around all of us. We all have gifts. We all have a purpose. We're not all going to find it. We're not all going to be open to it. That's okay too. That's just part of the way it's going to be. But if you are, and if you're curious, just start paying attention to what's going on around you. If people start mentioning things, if you start getting these nudges, and likewise, if things don't feel good, trust your gut. If you're thinking that you're going to go on this trip and your stomach's hurting and you just don't want to go and it feels bad, don't do it.
Or it's like your neck hurts, you sweat, or it's like, like that. Yeah.
Yes. Your body knows before we do, what's going on. So trust that gut instinct in both directions. Or if something, to me at this point, if something isn't a hell yes, it's a no.
Right. Yeah. Or like say, hey, let's say, go move to Seattle, Washington. It's like, what would be saying to you right now? Let's say I tell you, go to Seattle.
No. I've been there.
You didn't get a nudge, in other words.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I just got a nudge for the very first time in my life. I know it's beautiful. I know people die to go there. I've just never had any inclination to go to Hawaii. Never.
Really?
But I also live by a beach. So I'm like, why am I going to fly for 13 hours to go to another beach? I can get to Europe faster. Mm-hmm. So I've never been inclined to go to Hawaii. About 3 months ago, suddenly people started talking to me about Hawaii and this event that's going to take place in Hawaii on 12/12. And I was like, yeah, okay, I don't know. And suddenly the nudgings got stronger and stronger and stronger. And lo and behold, we're going to Hawaii for this event on 12/12, which I never thought, I was like, I wasn't, but something keeps happening. And now that I'm going, like things about Hawaii pop up everywhere. I'm like, all right, I guess I made the right call. I'm supposed to go to this, So I'm like, okay, honey, birthday and Christmas, you're covered.
There you go. And after Thanksgiving as well, too, and pre-New Year's. That's all.
Yes, exactly. It's all packaged into this trip because, oh my goodness, I also didn't realize how expensive Hawaii was. It is not easy to get there, and it is not easy to stay there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get why it's an island, right? Or it's a chain of islands, so everything has to be shipped in. But wow.
And of course, it's like, living in Tampa and you're about maybe, 2-3 time zones, something like that. It's like Tampa's in Eastern time zone. Hawaii is like Hawaiian time zone. And of course, meeting up in Bismarck, it's like Central. And then it's about maybe just like, few hours away, everything like that. I can understand too, the fuel costs involved and all that. So, and for me, it's just like, I'd be closer to, I'd be happy to go into Phoenix or Sedona and, or even Las Vegas. I'd be fine with it. Or, what? Just sneak up the can a little bit and just say, hey, you're in Canada. So
yeah.
All kinds of good stuff. And where can we find your book? I Can't Make This Sheet Up at, Alejandra?
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere that you get books. It's also on my website, which is just alejandrabrady.com. So it's super easy to find it. That's not an issue for anyone. So,
and if you're having trouble, just let the spirit nudge you and guide you.
There you go.
There you go. Again, it's like, help me. Here you go. Type it in. Help me. There you go. We're here with the multi-talented Alejandra Brady of I Can't Make This Shit Up here on the Mike Wagner Show. And what else we expect me in 2024 and 25 and beyond? Besides possibilities, what else do you have planned?
There's a lot of really fun things in the works. I actually had somebody approach me for a TV show. So
Nice.
we are playing with that. That is all, again, just like writing a book, just like doing podcast, just like everything else. It's all very new to me. So, I don't know what will come of it. I think if it's meant to happen, it will. I don't know the time frame. Obviously, it'll be 2025 at the earliest. And if that's my next platform, wonderful. If we'll just see where all this takes me. I'm open to it. In the meantime, I do worldwide consultations for feng shui. So that keeps me busy. I can do them in person or virtual. So it's very easy to work with me. And, it's hopefully a trip to Hawaii and who knows what else will come our way. Our son just got married. So lots of fun with them as well. Now that we have another little travel couple, my son and his beautiful wife. So lots of fun things.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, how do people get a hold of you to, for a consultation? How do they get a hold of you?
Easiest thing is on my website, alejandrabrady.com. I'm also very active on Instagram. I kind of had to pick one social and stick with that because otherwise it's just too much for me. So Instagram is where you can find me and find a ton. I mean, I have over 1,000 posts now, all on feng shui. So,
wow.
Lots of free information for people. And that's Alejandra G. Brady Lifestyled. But if you type in my name, usually it should pop up too.
Okay, we'll certainly do that. Letting the spirit do that as well, too.
Yes.
So we're doing that. And of course, a little help from the Raven as well, too. Hopefully it'll make me go to Baltimore. So we'll do that. So
yeah, we spent a lot of time there.
You got it. Yeah, it's great. And also, who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
I would say my feng shui teacher, because she kind of helped me change the trajectory of my life. I think having her come into my home and then my following in her footsteps and doing what she said I was supposed to be doing, I think she's been a beautiful influence in my life.
Nice. Okay. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I think what we said earlier, trust your gut,
Mm-hmm.
Trust your gut, be open.
Mm-hmm. And that is the most important thing. With the amazing multi-talented Alejandra Brady of the book, I Just Can't Make This Shit Up here on the Mike Wagner Show. Alejandra, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'll love to have you back. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your book?
Oh, thank you. It is alejandrabrady.com. Or for Instagram, Alejandra G. Brady Lifestyled. And you can get the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books.
All right. We'll certainly check that out. Once again, Alejandra, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love to have you back. We wish all the best. And Alejandra, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Mike.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, I'm Burl Bear, legendary American author, and I'm here to tell you about Missing, the new mystery suspense novel by Mian Mosensia. It's really a good book. Very surprising. Never a metaphor I didn't like, especially in this book. Here you have a main character whose life has been filled with despair. His wife died in 9/11. His young daughter died of a rare disease. He's not a happy camper. What does he do for a living? He's a physical fitness trainer. When somebody hardly knows, somebody he's never met, he only has encountered them on an internet chat line, goes missing. This is his journey. He's going to go rescue them. This is his search for redemption, his search for his own personal promised land. He couldn't do anything about the death of his wife, the death of his child, but maybe he can rescue this woman he's never met. That is, if she exists. Missing by Mian Mosensia, international in scope, vastly entertaining, full of surprises. I suggest you get it, either paperback or an electronic edition for your Kindle. Missing by Mian Mosensia.
Baby, come back.
Heidi Tan has a new release, the remake of Player's Baby Come Back.
Spending all my nights, all my money going out of the town.
The special guest, international recording artist Nils on guitar. And now with her own twist on the classic comes Heidi Tan 2023.
Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see.
She delivers the punch you'd expect from a seasoned pro with this arrangement of Baby Come Back. Destined to be a chart topper, Heidi Tan, Baby Come Back.
The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illuminatical, the think tank of the future. Illuminatical, a human think tank that brings scientists and engineers together from all over the world, has created a method to construct a renewable generator with this in mind. This unique product operates on a closed-loop system that generates more energy internally than it needs to function. The extra electricity can be used to run everything from homes and power grids to phones and laptops. This power source is entirely renewable, highly scalable, and more importantly, self-regenerating. For more information, visit facebook.com/illuminatical. That's facebook.com/ELLUMENIPTICAL today. The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Serena Wagner's book, The Sweet Psalmist, now available on Amazon. This book includes 30 exquisite paintings by well-known and unknown painters and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective on his life in this book. Through the Psalms he wrote, his time as a shepherd in the field is where the book starts, and it goes on to describe his complicated and turbulent relationship with King Saul as well as other events. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, and more. It also offers advice on approaching God and living a life that pleases Him. Check out the book, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, now available on Amazon. Keywords, Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.